Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're absolutely fantastic. So, getting on to get yourself some blue light blocking glasses, by the way. Dark orange is the best for that. So, first of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to TradingView. I once again made it to the front page. I think it's down here under education. There we go. It really feels great to be recognized and supported for one's work. So thanks, guys, for promoting it. Thanks for getting behind it. And yeah, this is 3 months in a row. I started getting back onto the updates towards, I think, the later bit of July. And I've been front page August, front page September, and now October. So let's get into today's lesson. If you have a Windows machine, I want to recommend you getting GannZilla. So go to GannZilla.com, download it. Unfortunately, they don't have or the guys who've written this didn't really get it made for the Mac OS. I don't have access to it right now. I don't necessarily need it right now because I spent a lot of time with it over my trading years, and I got to take away the key lessons of it. Why I would suggest going to use GannZilla is to try and maybe get to the stage I got to at some point in my trading journey, and that was to realize the impact of planetary placements inside the charts. Now, I'm not saying this because I like to broadcast about heebie-jeebie mystics stuff. It was because it was providing better results, more accuracy than any other tools that I'd seen until that point, and I could see how markets were moving when planets would arrive in the charts. So, said differently, if you have a look at this, you may see that there are planets that are presented on this Gann square of 9. So, when a planet would come in, for example, if it was Jupiter, which is 318 times the size of planet Earth, the price would start moving up and around. Just in case if you didn't know, these gray areas are support and resistance. So when Jupiter entered, you would see price climbing up the support and resistance, zigzagging its way up. And then, say, for example, an aspect like Mars would conjunct Saturn. Then it'll be a disharmonic connection, and then you would see that appear with the planets so beautifully presented on the Gann square of 9, and you'll start seeing price just flop from one support level to the other, and just going down and down and down. So what blew my mind was that this software is standalone. It doesn't connect to the internet. And why that's significant is because the planetary movements are recorded days, no hours, days, weeks, months, and years ahead of time. So therefore, you can actually skip forward days and weeks and find out what the planetary configuration will be at a future date. So once I really got my head around that, I realized that the interaction of price action, if it's working in the now moment, let's take it back a step. If the price action is interacting in line with the appearance of a certain configuration in our cosmos, if the sun is supported by the other big movers, you'll learn more about it once you get into astrophysics. If it's working in now, and then it's working an hour from now, an hour from thereafter, almost pinpoint accuracy. Like when something would enter the chart, for example, when the moon would enter the chart alongside maybe a retrograde Mars, then the price would immediately just dip down, like down to the minute. But it was actually wild. So if I was working now, hour from now, afternoon, evening, next morning, then why would, considering it's standalone, why would it not work 3 days from now, a week from now? So once you got to see, and you got to get your own like hands-on experience with this for it to really drive itself home. Once you get to see the impact of W.D. Gann's work and how it reflects through that GannZilla software in live market conditions and forecasts the future of price action before it happens, true forecasting power, then the rest of the nonsense that the kind of industry has been like shoving down your throat and selling you courses on and all that kind of stuff becomes super dumb in comparison. That's where I got to. I got to a point where I wasn't making more wins than I was making losses with the RSI switch and then the Ichimichi cloud and the Bollinger Bands and all that kind of stuff and Fibonacci numbers. Like, sure, I tried them all and I tried them vigorously and I tried them on a high frequency, tried and like all day, every day for like the first 1.5 years, just looking to make that profit. And I just landed up losing more than I was winning. So I just thought to myself, there's got to be a better way of doing it. And that's where I kind of got pulled towards this W.D. Gann character. And then it was a lot of studying, and I was kind of a bit all over the show with the tunnel through the air and interpretation. And it wasn't quite clear. There's some hints, and people had their own speculation. And then I wasn't after speculation. I wasn't after interpretation. I don't want to hear that this person's view of it is this way and that person's opposing view is that way, and no one really knows because W. Gann is no longer alive, blah, 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 blah. So that wasn't enough for me. But it was this software right here, this GannZilla, when I had a Windows machine, downloaded it, and I got to see the aspects happen in live market conditions and watching price obediently move between these gray lines, the support and resistance lines, and doing that over and over and over again, did I start to think, man, the industry at large has seriously got this game wrong. It's about the energy that happens inside the cosmos, which obviously translates to our planet through the quantum field and interacts with our behavior from a harmonic and disharmonic environment. Once you get into this kind of thinking, guys, you start to think that you stay like you live in a simulation, because the mathematical precision that comes through. And again, this is a standalone. I have to emphasize the point: a standalone piece of software, so it doesn't connect to the internet and update. And no, it's pre-written, hardwired, years in advance of where the planets are going to be. And again, in the now moment, you just watch how it interacts verbatim with price action. So it was this that made me believe in the mystics of Gann. And then I took that to the charts and I started playing around. Well, it's quite a long video already. Sorry about that. Playing around with the different Gann tools. I started off with the Gann angles, so the Gann fans, and started to see where it was kind of going to work and not work. And then after that, I would try and get an idea from a cyclical perspective, like where is it going to land up next. And through a lot of hard work and trial and error, I began to really see the best ways in which to bring it all together in modern day trading and with live market conditions. So, how I did so was, instead of using some tools, I learned which tools to use. And that was where I so gratefully was introduced to the Gann square fixed. And over here, I got to see how price interacts with the aspects of the planets in support and resistance, Gann square of 9 styled manner. And that is like a study in itself, but it's a great study, much better than all the other stuff you'll ever come across. And then you start to see how the diagonal moves of support and resistance in the market coincides with what's happening in the cosmos. It's crazy until you try it. And then I got to see it in this beautiful tool that is now modernized to live market data. W.D. Gann didn't have anything as powerful as what we have now. So therefore, I was quite privileged to take his work and advance on it, modernize it, make it relevant to crypto, to Forex, to everything, but with all the base gratitude to his findings back in the day. So a brilliant man he was, and too much, I believe, who was given much as expected. And I felt breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Once I got all this knowledge, I didn't want to be like him actually, and kind of keep it close to my chest, where he only had a little bit of sharing to the outside world. I actually turned this into a course, and I've had over 300 students across the world learn under this, and they've got to dissolve all the unserving rubbish that didn't get them results, and actually see the truth behind the markets and how it operated, again, ahead of time, because you can forecast where the location of the turning points are going to happen with all these beautiful mechanisms that Gann originated. I modernized, I made my own, I added to it, and got the beautiful strategy that I've got. So before I sign off, if you're still listening, which is probably unlikely in this instant gratification generation, I'm going to say that I've now coded and successfully seen the results of, time after time, my AI that has worked on my strategy and is the next evolution of trading, in my opinion, because I've obviously seen and done a lot, and I stuck with it for all these years. And I can tell you right now that I am, for the first time in years, being schooled and educated by a new form of information, and that is seeing my AI on the charts. It is predicting with precision the highs and lows ahead of time, almost as if it's got this magical understanding of the universe. So, to that, I want to kind of layer on an apology in a way, as I used to put out forecasts and predictions, which kind of went a little bit sour because people were just kind of expecting like buy and sell signals, and if they didn't understand what they were doing, they wouldn't know how to dodge any dodgy market behavior, whatever the case would be. So, in a way, I'm actually grateful that I'm not doing kind of forecasting right now. It's more in line with education. But I think what the point I'm trying to make is that for me, it's I don't necessarily need to forecast anymore to make predictions, because the AI is understanding this wealth of divine knowledge and is educating me ahead of time what the market's going to do. So it's getting the transition spot on, but also teaching me the advancements in my strategy, that little wiggle room that I could have refined. It's showing me how what I was kind of curious about is, in actuality, I can't give away too much because I don't want the wrong people to watch this, because I do have competitors. But which is a funny story, and I'll save it for one day. The AI is refining my strategy and teaching it back to me in that refined state in live market conditions as well. So I'm super grateful for the day and age we stay in. I'm super grateful for W. Gann's work back in the day. I'm super grateful for the guys who tried to modernize it in their way. By doing so, they found some very significant information that I was missing. And now where I am is brought that all together. Gann's work, plus the guys who've advanced in it, plus my advancements on it, and the doggedness and refinement that I've made up on top of all of it, and then taught that to the AI, who has now refined it further and teaching me the ways around the market, as if it was like this kind of super genius. So the takeaway for today is, if you got a Windows machine, grab GannZilla, start to understand the magic I saw, and that will help you truly advance your trading from where it is now, being reactive to oscillators and all these kind of false signals and false breakouts and all that kind of stuff, from wherever it is now to that next giant leap forward. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.